The type of things that influencers pitch as being passive income are usually either investment income or some form of self-employment. To make money investing, you usually need money to start with. And if it's going to replace your job, you should probably start with over $1 million. So the best way to earn a passive income through investment is, if you're young, to choose your parents wisely.
Oh, hi! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's episode, I'm gonna add more specifics through a video created by Patrick. Patrick is one of my fans. YouTubers and the language he uses might be a little bit confusing for us if we don't have the same financial literacy as he does. I will try to help us with some of the vocabulary contained in his video. So, without further ado, buckle up.
The SBA are overwhelmed with investigations and say that they're dealing with a backlog of more than 80,000 actionable fraud leads, which is close to 100 years worth of investigative work. The disturbing thing about the story was how many ordinary people decided to turn to fraud during the pandemic. The hedge fund manager Jim Chanos argues that we're living through a golden age of fraud. He believes that the fraud cycle follows the business and financial cycle, and that at market peaks, there's the most fraud going on in an economy, which is only exposed once there's a downturn. There is some evidence to support his claims too. The most widely held securities in America during the 1920s were the stocks and bonds of Kruger and Toll, a Swedish match conglomerate. The reason people invested was that the securities were sold in small denominations and paid high dividends of over 20%. The dividends were being paid out of capital rather than profits, and the business was essentially a giant Ponzi scheme.
A Ponzi scheme is one of the top favorite types of frauds created hundreds of years ago, and people still falling for that. That's amazing. Anyway, in this section, we can see that the government have a lot of work to do, the equivalent of 100 years of work. And that is one of the reasons that fraud cases do not always end up well, in the favor of the people who suffer the losses. It is not because the government is not doing his job. Well, that could be another reason. But anywho, if you were wondering what is an economic cycle, what is a financial cycle, and why is it related to the fraud cycle according to the hypothesis of the other guy, please allow me to try to tell you the answer in a simpler, more digestible language. The economic cycle is something that the market equals us, the people of one country, experience in a period of time regarding money. It is divided by 4 stages: expansion, big recovery, and recession. The financial cycle, by the other hand, is a process created by the government when they try to predict all the money they will get from us, and then they'll tell us how they're gonna waste that money in 1 year. Experts say that these 2 cycles are connected. How are they connected? You might be asking, so let me tell you some examples. If our government will use the majority of our money to invest, businesses will grow because they will have more money available to create sales or to buy more things to expand their businesses. In the contrary, if the government is expecting to spend less money in investments, business will not have the capacity to obtain more money to pay debts or to create more opportunities, which means they will not grow, leading us to an eventual decline. So this guy says that the fraud cycle is linked with the other 2 cycles when the economy is growing, because it's easier to convince us to give the money to scammers to become millionaires, and nobody's gonna say anything because everybody is making money. But when the economy is going down, the scammers will not have enough money to pay us because there is no money. Just in case, let me tell you how a Ponzi scheme works. If we give, let's say, $10 to a scammer, because the scammer promises us 20 bucks in return at the end of the month. Then the scammer will ask to another person the same, another 10 bucks. Then the scammer will use that money from the other guy to pay us. So we're gonna believe that this scam is actually making us money. This tactic will go on and on and on with other people until the scammer will not be able to pay us or to pay everybody else, because eventually a scammer will not find more people, or the scammer will just gonna disappear because he just pay us like 2 or 3 times, he makes us believe something, and then poof, evaporate. That is how the Ponzi scheme works.
There's a wide range of what people think of as scamming. It ranges from overpromising and underdelivering to fraudulent PPP loans to large-scale Ponzi schemes like Bernie Madoff ran. YouTube gurus like to pitch all sorts of passive income scams, promising massive returns in a short period of time. These schemes often involve multi-level marketing where participants are encouraged to recruit others, or they involve buying an overpriced course from someone who makes all of their money selling courses rather than by following the passive income scheme that they're pitching to their viewers. These scammers usually chase whatever's hot at a given point in time, claiming to be experts in dropshipping, cryptocurrencies, Web3, and today AI, where they'll tell you how they turned $100 into $1 million in a month, getting stock tips from ChatGPT, an AI autocomplete chatbot.
This is the perfect example of how the top G became millionaire. I know everybody has their own opinion about this guy. I'm just gonna make sure to establish that he's as regular person as everybody else. And as such, he has done things and say things that we can agree with, but we cannot agree. I personally love this guy. I feel like he's a positive, masculine figure. Some of the things he has said are very accurate, and I totally in his side with his recent false allegation created by other third parties. However, what I do not agree with him is the way he makes his money, and then tell us that he's a genius business owner, because he's not. He's a scammer. Before going into that, I want to show you that something is off in here. Something is happening on our understanding related to his name and the just process his brother are experiencing right now. As today, I'm literally trying to use video recording I made days ago. Some memes from bottom and a screen video recording to show his link to his university, and somehow I can never employ. The interesting part is those videos are the only ones that I can apply. There is a mistake when I aired my coincidence. Suspicious, I would say. I hope that I am able to publish this video without further bad experiences. Now, going back to topic. This guy, Dokchi, by December 2023, according to Wikipedia, has around 8.3 million followers. But he has been banned from other platforms in the past, such as YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So probably before his arrest, this guy had even more followers. Now let's do some math. Let us just take this 8.3 million followers into consideration. Now, imagine that all of them decide to buy the cheapest subscription to his university for $49.99 US dollars a month. For the party here, it actually says forever. If we times there's $49.99 with his 8.3 million followers, it will give us a grand total of $189,962,000 US dollars a month. Could you dimension this amount of money monthly in your bank account just for selling something like you can literally find for free in the internet? I've seen reviews and videos regarding his university, and the majority says that is not worth it. That you have the extra cash to pay for this in order to see what is happening, do it. Have the experience. But if you're serious about your business or you don't have money to gamble these kind of things, don't do it. Stay away from this. Get rich fast scams.
The aggressive accounting by companies is at an all-time high. In particular, he highlighted abuses by Silicon Valley companies, releasing accounts with tens of pages of adjustments, which they highlight instead of the GAAP numbers. Many of these companies use share-based compensation in order to hide how unprofitable they actually are, by claiming that employee compensation is not an expense. Many of these companies will issue press releases saying that they're now profitable on an adjusted basis, but when you dig into their accounts, it's clear that they're still losing money. Many of the worst offenders on this front are the most popular stocks amongst retail investors and the most promoted by finfluencers on YouTube. Investors would probably be wise to avoid paying any attention to those who claim to analyze stocks on social media. YouTubers make money from getting views on their videos, not from picking the best stocks.
That's correct. We want to make money based on our subscribers in order to have the sufficient influence in our audience to attract brands to pay us to promote their products. And we want to get paid depending on the people that actually watch our videos. So you don't have to pay us anything. Just subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch free, valuable, and tax educational tips. It doesn't cost you anything. So go, subscribe, and watch my videos for free. And if you want specific topics, shoot me a comment down below. It is free as well. Anywho, going back to topic. What is aggressive accounting? This is a term created to say fraud in a different way by using financial information such as to inflate revenue, cover up losses, or delay expenses. And why this is important? Because by lying into the accounts, we can achieve some evil results, depending of our deceitful motivations within the company. Like, we could receive our higher bonus if we're getting paid based on profits, or we could attract money and use that money to buy things that could potentially help us to have more sales. Oh, the last one sounds pretty lay, but in reality, we don't have enough money to pay that money back to the guy who lent us the money, which is basically lying to the guy, and that's illegal. I'm gonna show you why. And I'm gonna use pictured example when the companies are profitable and adjusted basis by using the share-based compensation instead of expensing their money when paying the employees. Imagine that we have an extra $1,000 in our bank account and we want to make more money. Somehow, we met somebody who tell us that if we give him those extra $1,000 while we have in our bank account, she's gonna pay us back in 1 month those $1,000 plus 500 more. You know, to convince us, because we are like kind of technical, this guy showed us some documents. In these documents, the guy is telling us that he has sold $10,000 and he used just $5,000 to pay his kids the last month. Therefore, the guy might have $5,000 in his bank account right now, right? But guess what? This guy purposely did not include the payment to his employees in those documents. And you might be wondering, but how the employees are not complaining about that if they didn't get paid? Because the guy did pay his employees, but he used the money he has been collected from other investors to pay his employees. That money is not part of the business itself. Therefore, the guy is not required to disclose that information in the documents she showed us before. She is required to disclose that information in other documents that he didn't show us. But unfortunately, we are brand investors and we didn't know that. The guy made us believe she had enough money to pay us back, but in reality, she doesn't. And after a month, she fails to give us money back. The moral of the story, we gotta be careful with words, as always. And now, even with documents allegedly reviewed by experts.
Passive income doesn't really exist. The vast majority of these passive income strategies are at best misrepresented and at worst completely fabricated to prey on the financially desperate. The most likely outcome when you sign up for any of these courses is that you'll learn nothing and be down the thousands of dollars that you spend on the course fees.
Thank you so much for staying at the end of the video. I got a question for you guys. Have you ever been scammed? If so, could you share how and what lesson did you learn from that experience? See you next time. Bye.